Hi again, it's Jules here from Tapping with Jules. I'm an EFT trainer and an advanced EFT practitioner and a social worker. And I'm here today for my final session with Susie Kim. How you going, Susie?
Hey, I'm going pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah.
That's good. So this is our fourth session in this little series of where the purpose of the sessions is really to educate other EFT practitioners, but anyone who's interested in EFT really to see what does an EFT session look like? How does it help you to work on goals in all different areas of people's lives? And so the choice, what we came up with your original goal was to do with this rest and receive program that you've previously run in person, and then you've thought about maybe you would run it online, and you were doing it as a fundraiser for the people affected by floods. And then you kind of ran into a whole lot of procrastination and resistance and feeling stuck. So the overall goal, what you said was more acceptance around the stuckness in this pattern of procrastination, not to get overwhelmed by the difficulties and the challenges, and to reduce the period of resistance and avoidance. And the original session goal was to announce the date and the format change and to change the event description. So do you want to just update us as to where you're at with the Rest and Receive program?
Yeah, so I think because in the middle sessions, I kind of went through a bit of I don't know if I want to do it at all kind of thing. And I just ignored it last week. And so what I've done is I've just changed the date to a date in June, which is something that I'm open to. I haven't fully landed on that decision yet, but I've changed all the things.
Okay, all right.
Changing the details. So
all right. And so that was something that we had tapped on, like just getting overwhelmed by the details and all the little decisions. And so the session goal was to announce that, the date and the format change and the event description. So you've done that. Yeah, so you've achieved that goal. That's good. But then you said, I want the experience of the launch not to be stressful and to feel relieved and excited about it. Letting people know this is the new format. And and we just talked about like having freedom from your own judgments and expectations around it. So last time I think we had, I feel free not to make a decision. So what percentage does that feel true at the moment? I feel free not to make a decision.
Yeah, that feels pretty true, like 70 to 80.
Okay. Yeah. So does that mean that you're kind of okay with sitting with it being like, well, I've scheduled it, but I'm not, I don't feel locked in by it as such?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think because last week I was seeing a lot of judgment about it being really unprofessional, and that softened completely. Yeah.
Oh, good. Yeah, because we tapped on the shame about how unprofessional it was, and you hadn't you hadn't finalised things and communicated with people. So, all right. So let me just go through our statements that we do at the start of each week. So just tell me the percentage that it feels true right now. It's safe to be stuck.
Safe to be stuck. Safe to be stuck. I mean, it is safe to be stuck, kind of. I don't know, like 40.
Okay, yeah. And I procrastinate often.
40.
Yeah. I don't deserve to take up space.
Yeah, okay, that's softened, I think. But I don't know what my ratings were, so it's probably like 30 to 40. Yeah.
And I find it difficult to make decisions that lock me
in. That's probably still alive somewhere, about 50.
Okay. I will never live up to my own expectations.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like 40 to 50.
Sure. And it's safe for me to expand into this next stage of my business.
Yeah, I think about 70.
Okay. And so in terms of the overall goal, well, I guess we didn't really measure the overall goal very well, but just so let's think about this relating to more of the original session goal, which was, look, I'm going to just change the details, book it as an online thing, right? So it feels
from last week. Yeah, from last week.
Yeah. Well, that was in session 2, I think, or session 1 or 2, we came up with that as a session goal. So you've met that goal, but just when you think about it now, it feels safe to change this area of my life. What percentage does that feel true?
Safe. I don't know. It feels kind of safe, like 60. Yeah, it feels like it feels available to me, but I guess I'm getting caught up because I haven't fully committed to the new thing.
Yeah, that's okay. Yep. And what about I feel worthy or that I deserve to make this change?
Probably 50. There's something a little bit in the way. Yeah.
Okay, sure. And I am motivated to create this change.
Yeah, like a 50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm confident about making this change.
I'm not very confident about making the change. Maybe like 40.
Okay. And it feels possible that I can make this change.
I mean, yeah, it's possible. Like we're about around 90.
Okay.
100 even. Yes, it's very possible.
Yeah. And when I'm saying this change, what are you thinking about?
Changing the date and running it online.
Yeah, okay. All right, that's interesting.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm just going to read out your original, these statements. So it's safe to be stuck. So when we started, that was 80%, and then it went down to 50. Then last week it was back up to 80. And today it's 40, so that's a 50% reduction, which is good. I procrastinate often was 60 to 70, stayed at 60 for the next 2 weeks, and this week it's 40. So that's a good 20%, 30% reduction. That's good. I don't deserve to take up space. That felt like a 60 to 70 when we started. Went down to 60, then 50, and then this week 30 to 40%. So again, that's like a 30% reduction, which is good. I find it difficult to make decisions that lock me in. Was 80, was 70 the next 2 weeks, then down to 50%.
Oh, again, that's so fascinating.
30% reduction.
Yep.
So I will never live up to my own expectations. Was 50 to 60, then 50, then 70 last week because you were in the throes of it. And this week, 40 to 50. So, it's come down a little bit, but it's kind of hanging around the same numbers. And it's safe for me to expand into the next stage of my business. So that was 50, went up to 60 to 70. Last week down to 40. And this week up to 70. So it's just, I really like to do this because it really kind of shows, like it lets you know where you're at, you know what I mean? Like as in, it kind of points to where the work needs to be done. Anyway, enough of that. So where do you feel like, in terms of the goal for this session, where do you feel like the work needs to be focused? Like what comes up for you when you think about, well, I've set this date, but I'm not married to it.
Yeah, I think it could be around more of that, because I think what helped last week was right. We're running our own businesses. It doesn't, like, we kind of come up with the rules. There's no one's saying it's all up to us.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So I think it's sort of expanding into that. It could be around taking up space, coming out with our own rules, that kind of thing. But just having, I would like to feel more permission, really, just to, I guess, just feel more permission in how I run my business, right?
Yeah.
Or how I, run events or whatever it is.
Yeah. And if you think about it in relation to the Rest and Receive series that you've kind of proposed for June, what would that look like? Would that be like permission to say, actually, I don't want to do it? Like get to the end of April and say, no, cancelling that, like.
Yep, it could be cancelling that for sure, because I've got resistance still to cancelling it.
Okay. Yeah.
you know, I think, oh, if you say you're going to do something, you should still do it at some point. So there's a bit of that.
Yeah.
And I think it also looks like, I think with rest and receive, what feels difficult about it is it feels like I have to do a lot of education on the topics because, you know, my niche is relationships. That's quite well established. I can speak about relationships. Everyone, or not everyone, but in my small corner of the internet, people think of me as a relationship coach.
Yeah.
Feels like I have to break new ground with rest and receive. So that is probably there's a bit of effort. And I don't know if I'm up for the effort, but yes, so I would need to educate and put in some effort.
And what's that based on? Like, I need to educate people about what it's about.
I think it's based on the fact that not that many people know or understand womb work. They don't even know what it is, let alone why they would want to do it.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
And so there's a resistance to the effort that you feel like that would require to kind of do the psychoeducation around what is womb work, why would you do it, how can it help you? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, there's a bit of resistance. Yeah. And there's a bit of a question, I guess, because there's a lot of feminine embodiment work. And to me, womb work's like, it just goes, it's deeper, like it can be distinguished. Like you can have been doing embodiment work for years and then you can do womb work and it'll still be a different thing.
Yeah, true.
Similar but different. So
yeah.
So there's that. There's also, yes, I don't know if I'm going off track, but there's also, I'm having a lot of just my own ideas around how I operate, and when things like my own body of work, I suppose you could call it, is it'll still take like a long time probably to come in, but I'm just starting to recognize some of the principles that I always apply, that I always get my clients to do. So there's something around, I think it's still around carving out my own space. And putting myself forward as a leader of a voice or of a view or of a approach, and kind of claiming that, because I think I'm definitely resistant to doing that, but I admire it when other people do.
Sure. Okay.
And that could apply to rest and receive.
Right. Okay. So at the moment, you know, because you said, I don't want to feel stressed about it. That was a really strong thing that came out of the sort of second, well, all of the sessions really, like, I'm not doing it if it's going to bring me a lot of stress. So at the moment, how stressed do you feel about it? Being in, like, the idea that it's in June, but it's not locked in really.
I don't feel stressed about it really at all at the moment. Be about 20, maybe a very small amount. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good. All right. So let me just, you know, let's start tapping to start with. When you said, like, I just want to kind of feel into how you would feel about, like you said, there's resistance to cancelling it, but it sounds like in some ways you're also not fully on board with locking it in either. You know, which is, I mean, that's fine, but is that like, is there part of you that would like to focus the work on kind of still getting clarity around, do I actually want to do it or not? Or do you feel like, no, I know I want to do it, I just need to kind of work on the resistance around the effort that you know is involved to kind of do a good job of the launch or whatever, because you're going to have to do all this education?
I think if I knew that the launch would be easy, I would do it. And if I knew that running it would be easy, I would 100%, of course I would do it.
Yeah. Funny how there's no guarantees about those things.
And a lot of it is up to me, right? And all of the beliefs and things like that.
So up to you how you want to use the session. Like, would you rather focus on the resistance you feel towards the effort that you feel is going to be required to do the launch, you know, the lead up education stuff? So we could work on the resistance around that, or we could work on the resistance to just, or, you know, like the kind of part of me wants to go ahead with it, and part of me just wants to feel free to cancel it, have the permission to just say, take it off the agenda for now.
I think, is there another option? Is there an option to just go?
It's up to you. You just you say what you feel like, because it's kind of like when we're tapping, especially once we start tapping, we're kind of tuning into the unconscious mind, we're tuning into the body, and so it'll start to give you, you know, what feels like the best place to start.
Okay.
So just whatever falls out of your mouth, really. But I guess I'm trying to like make it tied to the goal so that you feel like, because this is the last session, that's kind of like, that's a good place to end. But you know, it's really, it's all just education, so it doesn't matter too much.
Okay. Yeah, I'm wondering if I can't tell if I'm doing the thing where I'm just opening a new thread without closing the old one.
Yeah,
or
I'm
if
known
it's
for that myself.
Are you known for that yourself?
Yeah, like finish that before you start that. Yeah. Because
I think
is this kind of like coming into my own space, carving out like
the new thread is just owning more of just owning more leadership and owning more space, I suppose, and my own voice. Which can actually be tied to rest and receive as well.
Absolutely. I think it's very, because I think, you know, like what you're saying is that it is, you know, you're feeling like you need to break new ground, you have to educate people about womb work. Like that's what leaders do, isn't it? Like leaders come ahead, like go in front and go, there's this thing that I found really useful.
All right. Let's work on that. It's going to be relevant at some point, whether it's for rest and receive or anything else.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So when you think about that, putting myself forward as a leader, carving out my own space, breaking new ground. When you think about that in relation to rest and receive, like what sort of comes up for you as a thought or a feeling or a sensation in the body?
Yeah, I think what comes up is I notice like I'm happy to do it if I'm, isn't that interesting? It's like, it's so annoying. Anyway, I'm happy to do it if I'm not then also charging money for a product. Like I think I'm happy to, you know, like I might write a post today on this interesting micro phenomenon in the New Age community, you know, and I'm not selling anything. And so, you know.
So why, if you're charging money for it, what does that mean? What does that bring up for you?
It just feels a bit like I'm telling you this thing and then I'm also giving you the solution, which is what I'm providing.
Yeah. So when you think about, like, presumably with rest and receive, if it goes ahead, you're going to buy a ticket, aren't you? Like I would, if I want to do it. So when you think about people are going to buy tickets for that, what comes up when you think that? I'm happy to do it if I'm not charging. Well, you are charging. So what is that?
Charging.
What meaning do you make of that?
Yeah, I think the meaning is, especially when it's online, it's like anyone could do it, so it better be good.
Oh, interesting. Anyone could do womb work, could they?
They could, you know, like you just don't know.
Anyone could do it, so it better be good. Yeah. And so let's just tell me if this is right. So when you think about, okay, it's in June, it's however many dollars. Have you set a price yet or not? Haven't got around to that bit?
It's going to change, but yeah, it'd be around $500. You know.
Yeah. Okay. And how many weeks does it go for?
I think I'm going to make it 5 rather than 8.
Okay. All right. So when you think about that, anyone could do it, so it better be good. What's the feeling that comes up when you think, well, anyone's not doing it, I'm doing it. I'm going to do this thing online. What's the feeling? And it's going to be $500 for 5 weeks, let's say.
I'm doing it, or anyone could do it?
You're doing it.
I'm doing it, yeah.
The idea, isn't it? But when you think, well, anyone could do it.
Yes.
In this case, it's me. So what does that mean? Like,
oh no,
it better be good. So
I meant more that anyone could sign up to do it.
Oh.
Right. So it's like the audience is, the potential audience is wider.
Exactly.
And so it better be
now
good because
right.
you don't know who the guests will be. So your house better look nice.
That's right. So what's the feeling you get then when you think, well, anyone could say, like,
Just a little bit nervous.
yeah.
Yeah.
And nervous because
it's really similar to a feeling of like, I don't know who's going to come, so my house better be nice or something. It's like strangers are coming, and that's such a childhood thing for me. Strangers are coming to the house, you better clean up, you better make everything look nice.
Okay. So at the moment, how confident are you about doing it? Like going ahead, locking it in?
Not very confident about that. About a 30.
Okay, all right. Let's see if in this session we can get that up to 50.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm going to aim for.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so nervous 0 to 10, thinking that anyone could sign up. A wider audience, better make sure. I don't know who's coming, so the house better be nice. Nervous 0 to 10.
Yeah, because I guess it's like fear of judgment. It's, it's a fear of the unknown, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's right. So what number would you give the nervous feeling?
Probably about a 6 at the moment.
Yeah. And do you notice that showing up in the body anywhere?
In my stomach. Yep.
Yeah. And all right. And so is it that like they'll sign up and you'll see the name and you'll be like, I don't know who that is, that could be. Like, what are you worried about in terms of, I don't know who it could be, anyone?
I think I'm worried about, I'm probably thinking too much of their expectations, and because I haven't created the program fully, but although that's where I got a bit stuck before, probably because I was thinking of people's expectations. I think because I would like to run it as a really simple offering personally, because I think that would be the best. I think I'm worried that they're going to think, is that all it is? Or something like that. Or, there isn't all this, I don't know, fancy extra stuff or.
Okay, all right. So the kind of the power of it being delivered in a simple fashion, but you worry that other people are going to go like, is that all? Like, where's all the bonus, this and that? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, potentially, yeah. And then if I was, because then I think I went the first way of like, I'll offer this and I'll do this and I'll this, and I was like, that's crazy. That would just stress me out. That was stressing me out.
That's right. Isn't it interesting?
And it's I understand it's unnecessary. It's not.
Yeah. But that's what you see out there, and then you get this, and you get that ebook, and you get this recording, and you get this,
a bunch of stuff you'll never look at.
That's right. You'll store on your computer and never go back to. All right. Okay. So I want you to kind of have like a particular female client in mind who's like kind of signed up, and would she be looking at the program and going, is that all there is? Or would it be like throughout the course that she'd be going, is that all there is?
It's so interesting because I think once we get going, it'll be fine. It's more that initial feeling for me of like, this person signed up and, what are they gonna think? Yeah.
Okay, good. Great work. Let's tap on that. Okay. So if I say anything that doesn't kind of land or you want to say anything differently, just let me know. All right, even though I'm feeling nervous. Because when I think about putting this program online. Well, I don't know who's going to come. And I don't know what are they going to think of my program.
And I don't know what they're going to think about this program.
Maybe they'll think, is that all there is?
Maybe they'll think, is that all there is?
And I feel nervous in my stomach just thinking about that. Those words okay to start with? Mm-hmm. Yep. Even though I'm feeling nervous in my stomach. As I think about doing Rest and Receive online in June.
I
don't know who's going to come. And I guess I'm fearing the unknown and their judgment. Because they might look at the program and go, is that all there is?
Because they might look at the program and go, oh, is that all there is?
And I accept myself and how I feel.
And I accept myself and how I feel.
Even though I'm feeling nervous.
Even though I'm feeling nervous.
Just thinking about putting rest and receive online.
Just thinking about putting rest and receive online.
So I actually want to offer this as a really simple thing.
I actually want to offer this as a really simple thing.
But I'm worried that people that sign up.
But I'm worried that people that sign up.
They might have different expectations.
They might have different expectations.
And they might go, oh, is that all there is?
And they might go, oh, is that all there is?
I feel nervous in my stomach.
I feel nervous in my stomach.
And I accept myself and how I feel.
And I accept myself and how I feel.
Okay, top of the head. Feeling nervous.
Feeling nervous.
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 Feeling nervous in my stomach.
Nervous in my stomach.
Nervous.
Nervous.
Feeling nervous about this.
Feeling nervous about this.
Feeling nervous in my stomach.
Feeling nervous in my stomach.
They might be like, oh, is that all there is?
Oh, is that all there is?
Okay, so come back to the side of the hand. Just notice what you notice now when you think about that. Put together a pretty simple 5-week program. Maybe potential participant will be, is that all it is? What number would you give?
That's not very
nerve?
strong.
Mm.
So the nervous is not so much anymore about who's going to sign up. I'd say that's still about a 3.
Yeah.
But then now comes flooding back all the other stuff of, oh, well, you better make sure that you've designed a really seamless experience.
A what?
It's a really seamless experience. Oh my God.
Seamless.
Seamless.
Oh, seamless. Okay.
Yeah, so I think it's expectations. You know, it's like, oh, you better have a really clean house. You better have designed it's simple, but it has to be really seamless. Right. You know,
what does that even mean? It's a seamless experience.
Yeah, it's kind of like, yeah, everything flows in a way, and yeah, everything works, and you see, yeah,
it's all got to be like a clean house kind of thing,
like a clean house, yeah,
like good feng shui sort of, or however you say that.
Yeah, and you like no technical difficulties, you know, just everything is seamless.
Okay, all right.
Which is really a little bit unrealistic.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never won one of those programs in my life where everything's seamless. All right, so are you nervous thinking, is that the word? Even though I feel nervous, thinking, whoa, everything's got to be seamless, it's got to be flow, it's got to all work.
That is what makes me feel stressed. Yes.
Yeah.
Thinking about that. Because I think it's just perfectionism, isn't it? Oh,
yeah, pretty much. Well, that's what's under most procrastination, right? Like perfectionism, fear of failure. What if it's not perfect? What if it's not seamless?
Yeah.
All right. So stress 0 to 10 when you think about, but it has to be
like a 5 to 6.
Sure. And feel that somewhere in the body.
Sure. It's stomach and chest. Yeah.
Okay. And in terms, just like give me something a little bit more specific about like what someone might think if it wasn't like how could it be not seamless and they would know? Like where does your mind go in terms of what could go wrong that it would be not seamless, not flowing?
I think where it goes is it's sort of like if I haven't, it's so crazy because Doesn't really make sense, but it's like if I haven't planned it out in a way, that's not even true, but that's where my mind goes. It's like if I haven't designed what's happening in a way that makes sense, and so then what could happen is then you could get in there and it could be too much teaching, and then everyone could be really tired, or it would more be the experience is a bit not
too much, not flowing. Okay.
Yes.
All right, good work. All right, even though I'm feeling stressed. When I think about running Rest and Receive online in June. I'm thinking I'd better make sure that I've designed a really seamless experience. And what if I don't plan it out in a way that makes sense? And there's like too much teaching.
And
then there's no flow and it doesn't work. And I feel stressed in my stomach and my chest. And I accept myself and how I feel.
And it's also no flow, or if people aren't feeling kind of connected, because there's a vibe to online containers.
If they're not connected to themselves or you or the program or just in general.
Because I think you can build that in to make it a connected experience.
Sure. Okay. Even though I'm feeling stressed, when I think about running Rest and Receive online in June, I'm thinking it has to be really seamless. I have to design it in a way that there's flow and that people feel connected and it works.
To design it in a way so that people feel flow and it's connected and it works.
And I feel stressed in my stomach and my chest just thinking about this.
And I
accept myself and how I feel. Even though I'm feeling stressed. I'm thinking, what if I design the program? And there's like too much teaching. And it's not seamless and flowy.
And
then people aren't feeling connected.
I
feel stressed in my stomach and my chest.
And
I accept myself and how I feel. Okay, top of the head. Feeling stressed. Stressed. Feeling stressed in my stomach. Stressed. Feeling stressed in my chest too. Better make sure it's seamless. Feeling stressed in my stomach and my chest.
Stressed in my stomach and in my chest. You know what? It's like, it reminds me of when I'm writing an essay for uni. And I do that final check to make sure that it all flows. It's sort of a similar thing. It's so funny.
And then do you often go like, oh, that doesn't even go like, because I'm like, I don't want to like put that there. So I just put it at the end, and then it's like, oh, that doesn't go there. That's like a whole other topic.
Yeah. But at least with uni, I've done that a million times.
Right. And whereas with this,
it's new.
Yeah, that's right. All right. So now when you think, so what number would you give the feeling of being stressed about it, thinking, have to make sure it's designed so it's seamless and it flows and people feel connected in their experience?
Still be a 4 or a 5. It'll still be pretty there. Yeah.
And still feeling it in the stomach and the chest?
Yeah, more in the chest now.
Okay.
Now it feels like, like anxiety.
And anxiety because, like, what's your mind going? Where's it going? Like,
It's more the feeling. It just feels very like in my
okay.
chest and kind of, yeah.
All right. What number would you give
Nervous.
that? How intense does that anxiety feeling in the chest feel?
Probably still, yeah, still a 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonder if we might do just a little bit of chasing the pain on that. Like, is the physiological feeling feel more intense almost than the emotion? Do you think? Is that kind of what you're saying?
I think so.
Yeah. Okay. So just do a little zoom into that chest area and just let any words fall out that describe that feeling.
Nervous.
Yeah.
It feels like something that I can't catch, like I'm chasing or I'm not, I'm missing. It's like elusive. And it's, yeah, kind of like it's too slippery.
Okay.
Yeah, like I
So
just can't quite get it. Yeah.
Okay. And kind of like tune into more like the kind of somatic nature of it. Like, is it a color? Does it like have a texture? Like you said, it feels kind of slippery.
Yeah, the texture is slippery, and if it was a shape, it would be like sort of like eels.
Yeah. Right.
That I can't quite grab, and then it's but the feeling is like, oh no, I keep missing it. Oh no, I keep missing it. Oh no, I keep. It's sort of like when you're in a dream and you just can't quite get to the door, or you just can't quite do it's that feeling.
Okay. And are the eels a color?
Not really. I guess they could be sort of silvery, but yeah.
All right. Even though I have this feeling in my chest.
Even though I have this feeling in my chest.
It's kind of elusive.
It's kind of elusive.
It's like I'm chasing it.
It's like I'm chasing it.
But I keep missing it.
But I keep missing it.
I can't catch it.
I can't catch it.
They're like slippery eels.
They're like slippery eels.
And I just can't quite grab them.
And I just can't quite grab them.
And I accept myself and how I feel.
And I accept myself and how I feel.
Those words, okay?
Yeah, but it's not that I can't grab the feeling, right? You know that, right? Like the feeling is that I can't grab, or the feeling is that I'm not able to. Yeah.
You can't grab the feeling or the eels. You can't grab the feeling.
It's not that I can't grab the feeling. The feeling is that I'm missing, or that I'm trying to get something, but I'm not quite getting it. Or I'm trying to. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Even though I've got this feeling in my chest.
Even though I've got this feeling in my chest.
That I can't quite grab.
That I can't quite grab.
I keep missing it.
I keep missing it.
Like a slippery eel.
Like a slippery eel.
Like I'm chasing it and I can't catch it.
Like I'm chasing it and I can't quite catch it.
Is that what you mean?
So I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I'm being too picky semantically.
No,
but
it's good to be picky. You've got to be picky. Yeah.
Okay. So the feeling is that it's just out of my reach.
Okay.
Or that it's or that for whatever reason I can't get it.
Okay.
Yeah. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Yeah. But it's slippery and slightly like those words still feel right.
Slippery. Yes. But the main thing is it's not that I can't get the feeling.
Yeah. What is the main word then?
This is just the experience as a whole. Like the feeling would probably be anxiety.
Okay. All right.
Issue. Yeah.
I think we might abandon this. I think, because I don't think I'm not reusing it. Yeah, anyway, doesn't matter. All right, so come back to thinking about putting rest and receive online. June, so does it still feel stressed, nervous? And we can just blend in those feelings like I can't quite get it. Yeah.
Or it's like, eluding me.
So before we said stress 4 or 5 or more like anxiety. Does it feel like anxiety when you think about, oh, well, it's got to be seamless and flowing and people have to feel connected? Do you want to say even though I feel stressed or anxious?
Yeah, it's both, you know.
Okay.
It could be either. Yeah, it doesn't really matter.
And in the chest?
Yep.
Yep. And 4 or 5 out of 10 still, or something else?
Yep. I'd say 4 or 5, maybe even 6. Yeah.
Yeah. And stressed and anxious about this
because of my own expectations of how good it has to be.
Meaning, is that relating to the seamless and flowing and all that?
Yeah, to this idea of, of the kind of experience that I have to deliver. Oh my goodness. It's funny.
It is, isn't it? When you like, the words just fall out when you're tapping hay and you go like, oh, I can't believe I even think that. No wonder I'm in trouble with this.
Totally.
And so the feeling in the chest is what?
Feeling in the chest. Okay, look, in this moment, it's like, oh my God, get this away from me. I don't even want to think about it. It's funny, isn't it?
Yeah, okay. All right. Even though I feel stressed.
Even though I feel stressed.
I feel anxious.
I feel anxious.
Just realizing how high my own expectations are.
Just realizing how high my own expectations are.
When I think about delivering this 5-week rest and receive online program in June.
When I think about delivering this 5-week rest and receive online program in June.
And I'm just realizing how good it has to be.
I'm just realizing how good it has to be.
And in my chest, I'm like, oh my God, get this away from me.
And in my chest, I'm like, oh my God, get this away from me.
Do you say I don't want to be anywhere near it? Like,
yeah, I don't want to be anywhere near it.
Okay. And I accept myself and how I feel.
And I accept myself and how I feel.
Even though I feel really stressed and anxious.
Even though I feel really stressed and anxious.
Thinking that I have to provide the perfect seamless experience.
Thinking that I have to provide the perfect seamless experience.
It has to be flow and I want people to feel connected.
It has to be flow and I want people to feel connected.
And I feel so stressed realizing how good it has to be according to my own expectation.
And I feel so stressed realizing how good it has to be according to my own expectations.
And in my chest, I feel like, oh my God, get this away from me.
And in my chest, I feel like, oh my God, get this away from me.
I don't want to be anywhere near that.
I don't want to be anywhere near that.
And I accept myself and how I feel.
And I accept myself and how I feel.
Even though I feel stressed and anxious.
Even though I feel stressed and anxious.
Thinking about running rest and receive online.
Thinking about running rest and receive online.
In June.
In June.
My own expectations.
My own expectations.
About how good it has to be.
About how good it has to be.
Are just making me feel so stressed.
Are making me feel so stressed.
Like it has to be seamless.
Like it has to be seamless.
It has to be flowing and the perfect connected experience for all participants.
It has to be flowing and the perfect connected experience for all participants.
And in my chest, I'm like, oh my God, get this away from me.
And in my chest, I'm like, oh my God, get this away from me.
I don't want that anywhere near me.
I don't want that anywhere near me.
And I accept myself and how I feel.
And I accept myself and how I feel.
All right, top of the head, feeling stressed.
Feeling stressed.
Anxious.
Anxious.
I feel stressed in my chest.
Oh, I feel stressed in my chest.
Feeling anxious in my chest.
I feel anxious in my chest.
It's like, oh my God, get that away from me.
Oh my God, get that away from me.
If that's how I feel like it has to be.
If that's how I feel like it has to be.
In my chest, I'm like, I don't want to be anywhere near that.
In my chest, I'm like, I don't want to be anywhere near that.
This makes me feel really stressed and anxious.
It just makes me feel really stressed and anxious.
Okay, so let's come back to side of the hand and maybe have a little drink.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Is it any wonder a person procrastinates? When you like dig into what the thoughts are, like, Because like you say, it's so unrealistic, isn't it? Like it's so, All right, so stressed, anxious, 0 to 10 just now, thinking about that, your own expectations of how good it has to be.
Yeah, it's like still around a 4, I'd say.
Yeah.
It is feeling a bit softer.
Yeah.
It's funny, isn't it? It's almost like it feels a bit more far away.
Yeah, that's a common experience with EFT. And what about the chest? How's that feel?
It's feeling, yeah, okay in this moment. Still a little bit like I want to run away.
Okay. Yeah. And do you feel that in the chest or anywhere else?
That is a whole body thing.
Yeah. Okay. And what, like, be a bit more specific about what is making you feel like, oh, I want to run away.
It's similar to wanting to be stuck, right? Similar. I just want to like not. I don't know if it's similar to being stuck, but it's like I just want to not. I just want to avoid this whole thing.
Yeah. But what about it? Is it that like knowing that I'm going to have to demand it to be perfect from my own point of view? Is that what you feel like you just want to avoid? Like, because
yes, it's all of my own expectations. Like I can't handle the craziness of myself, or like I can't handle the like I don't want to. And it feels so. It's very annoying. Anyways,
it is.
It's annoying because the whole thing is about rest and receive, and yet here I am facing my own, expectations and all of that. It's like, I think it just adds a layer.
You'll have to tell. You'll be so authentic.
So yeah, there's just no. I think it's like I need to rest and receive from my own perfectionism, really, on my own expectations. But it's like, it is annoying. Anyways,
does annoying feel more than the feeling of wanting to avoid right now? Like which feels stronger? Because we can do both.
I think the annoying is more a little bit of a judgment on top, but I think the avoidance is like the stronger one.
Okay.
Really.
So will we say, even though I feel like I want to avoid, I want to run away, or I feel anxious, stressed, like.
Yeah. I think it's avoid this. It's kind of like avoid so that I can. Yeah, I just don't want to get into it. So what it feels like is like I don't want to get into a cycle of stress again, like I was in before.
That's right.
So I'm like, avoid the storm, avoid that. Don't fall into that. That pattern. It's like it would be better for me to avoid it altogether than to just go and be in like a thing of stress.
Okay, great.
Yes.
All right. A feeling of wanting to avoid 0 to 10. What number would you give it just now?
Yeah, like a 5 to 6. I'd say that's pretty, maybe even stronger. Yeah.
Okay. Even though I feel like I really want to avoid this.
Even though I feel like I really want to avoid this.
When I think about running rest and receive online.
When I think about running rest and receive online.
I just want to avoid. I can't handle the craziness of myself.
I can't handle the craziness of myself.
Just realizing how my own expectations are.
Just realizing how my own expectations are.
How good it has to be to meet my expectations.
How good it has to be to meet my expectations.
I just want to run away.
I just want to run away.
And in my whole body, I feel like that.
And in my whole body, I feel like that.
I don't want to get into a cycle of stress like I was in before.
I don't want to get into a cycle of stress like I was in before.
And I accept myself and how I feel.
And I accept myself and how I feel.
Even though I feel like I just want to avoid this stress.
Even though I feel like I just want to avoid this stress.
When I think about running this program online in June.
When I think about running this program online in June.
I don't want to get into the cycle of stress like I was in before.
I don't want to get into the cycle of stress like I was in before.
And when I'm listening to my own expectations about how good this has to be.
And when I'm listening to my own expectations about how good this has to be.
I just like want to run away in my whole body.
I just want to run away in my whole body.
I can't handle the craziness of myself.
I can't handle the craziness of myself.
And I accept myself and how I feel.
And I accept myself and how I feel.
even though I just want to avoid this.
Even though I just want to avoid this.
Thinking of this program being run even in June.
Thinking of this program run even in June.
I'm listening to my own expectations.
I'm listening to my own expectations.
Of how good this has to be.
Of how good this has to be.
Seamless, connected, flowing.
Seamless, connected, flowing.
And I'm just like, I just want to run away from the whole thing.
And I'm just like, I want to run away from the whole thing.
My whole body feels like that.
My whole body feels like that.
I just want to avoid another cycle of stress.
I just want to avoid another cycle of stress.
And I accept myself and how I feel.
And I accept myself and how I feel.
I really just want to avoid this stress.
I really just want to avoid this stress.
I want to avoid it.
I want to avoid it.
I can feel this in my whole body.
And I can feel this in my whole body.
I feel like I just want to run away.
I feel like I just want to run away.
My whole body just wants to run away from this stress.
My whole body just wants to run away from this stress.
It wants to avoid this cycle of stress I can feel coming.
It wants to avoid this cycle of stress that I can feel coming.
Oh, I just want to avoid it.
I just want to avoid it.
I just want to run away from it.
I just want to run away from it. Oh.
Okie dokie. All right. So what are you noticing about the intensity of that feeling of wanting to avoid and run away?
I mean, it's still there.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's quite strong, actually. It's very interesting. It is tied to that. It is tied to the stuckness, because it's like, it's the same feeling of like, no, I just want to,
Yeah.
Yeah. I just like literally get in a
little cocoon.
Yeah.
You want to be the rest and receiver, not the person running the damn program. Okay, so guess a number. Avoid.
Yeah, still like 4 to 5.
Yeah.
I literally would like to leave this room. Like, I'm not going to, but it's like a.
You can actually, seriously, if you feel like your body wants to get up and move around, it's totally fine to do it.
I see.
Yeah. Sometimes it's good to let the body do what it wants to do. Like even just moving your feet.
Oh yeah.
Give the body the feeling. Yeah, let the body have the feeling that, I'm going to let you run away from this. You can walk away from this. It helps because the body wants to discharge this survival stress, right?
Totally.
Yeah. Poor body. Okay. And so the words we were using, were they okay? Can we make them any better in terms of?
No way. Can you remind me of the words?
Yeah. So it was the other thing I was wondering is about whether we should be tapping on what happened last time, because your body keeps kind of going back to that last time when I got so stressed and I just can't go there again, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, we can certainly do it the way we're doing it, but
no, we can do that.
How's the body feeling just now? I wouldn't kind of jump into that if you're still feeling a bit dysregulated, but
my body it's still a little bit flighty.
Yeah. Okay. And the thing that you're wanting to avoid is just when you think about how perfectionistic you are and how everything will have to be a certain way, that's what you want to run away from. Just this, if it's not perfect, it's if it's not your own expectations. Is that what you feel like your body wants to avoid?
It's more that I want to avoid the whole experience of stress. Right? It actually took me by surprise. I think the perfectionist thing, it wasn't even that. I wasn't expecting it to be so strong.
Yeah.
And so it was just it was just getting caught up in stress was come on, Susie, we don't do that. That's terrible.
We're more involved than that.
Come on,
Apparently not. So just give me a little example of what that would look like. What would that be? If you were getting caught up in the stress that you want to avoid, what would you be? What are you most worrying
What am
about?
I avoiding? I'm avoiding worrying. Like I don't want to worry.
Okay. All right. And is this anywhere in the body particular, or does it still feel whole body? You want to get up and leave the room kind of thing?
That could be a bit in the stomach. Yeah, I still do want to leave, but
okay, sure. All right. Even though I still really want to avoid this.
Even though I still really want to avoid this.
The whole experience of stress.
The whole experience of stress.
When I think about running Rest and Receive in June.
When I think about running Rest and Receive in June.
I can just see myself getting caught up in stress.
I can just see myself get caught up in stress.
And I want to avoid that worry.
And I want to avoid that worry.
And I'm feeling it in my stomach.
And I'm feeling it in my stomach.
And my body wants to just get up and leave.
And my body wants to just get up and leave.
And I accept myself and how I feel.
And I accept myself and how I feel.
Those words okay?
Yes. Also something came up. So it's interesting because it's sort of going back to my childhood and just feeling like I was quite stressed, or like the home was quite a stressful environment.
Yeah.
And wanting to get up and leave. So it's sort of like it's that. Anyway, that's just what came up. Yeah.
All right. So that's good. So that's the job of the hippocampus, is to say, pop a little memory and go, this is where this is coming from. This feeling is from then, right?
Yeah.
So we would be better served if you feel okay. Can you think about, is there like a particular kind of memory, or like we could sort of make it up, like with dinner times, especially stressful, or mornings, or like, so is there like a particular memory, or do you feel like you would just sort of?
It was like a lot of different memories. Yeah. Being in the bedroom, feeling like that was kind of the only refuge, but even that not really being quite enough. Not wanting to go into the house sometimes, like quite often. That was a pretty global experience. Like staying in the car, or like even staying at a friend's house for longer, or just whatever it was. It was like, it wasn't, it was pretty global.
Constant thing. So in that case, we kind of like make something up. Like we kind of go like imagining, you know, like remembering kind of just being in my room thinking this is my only refuge, but maybe would you be hearing stuff going on out?
I know, I can imagine. So what I'm imagining is being on my front porch and not wanting to go inside the house.
Yeah, good. Okay. And how old are you in that imagining?
Oh, I would have been probably around year 7 or year 8.
Okay.
Or year 9.
All right.
Yeah. 13, 14. Yeah.
Okay. And so have you kind of got like an image of that younger self standing on the front porch, not wanting to go in the house? Yeah. And has anything particular happened, or this was just like everyday kind of a feeling like?
Yeah, it was nothing in particular would have happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So thinking about that imagining of this younger you, 13, 14-year-old, standing on the porch, looking at the front door and not wanting to go in, what's the feeling that comes up now when you think about that?
It feels like almost like panic, actually.
Yeah.
Like panic, a bit of sadness.
Okay.
Dread.
Yeah. Which one feels kind of biggest? Because we can do a number of them, but
probably it's weird because it's like a panic, but it's like it's a hopeless panic, right? Because I have to go in because it's my house.
Okay. All right. So if we say hopeless panic, does that sound okay?
Yeah.
0 to 10 on that.
Yeah, like a 6, 7.
And you notice it in the body somewhere?
Yeah, it would be sort of in my chest. And that's interesting because then a part of me also wants to run away.
Okay. All right. See how it's very accurate system.
It is very accurate, isn't it?
Okay. So I think let's just do a little silent round and a little bit of orienting. So if you can keep your eyes open for me, you're doing really, really well. This is a bit of a deeper level. So just focusing on how that feels, tapping on that eyebrow point. Do whatever breathing feels nice to you. And then the side of the eye. And just listening for any sounds in the room or any sounds outside the room. And I'm right here with you. You're doing such a good job. Tapping on the collarbone point. And just letting the body soften a little bit if it can. Okay, so come back to the side of the hand. How are you feeling?
Good. Okay. A little bit tender, but yeah, good.
Yeah, okay.
I'm here, yeah.
Okay. So does it still feel right to say, even though I feel this hopeless panic, imagining myself like standing on the porch, not wanting to go in, but I have to go in because it's my house, like.
Yeah, it's not a hopeless panic anymore. It's actually changed. So now it's just dread.
Dread, okay. 0 to 10 on dread.
Yeah. And that's in my stomach. Yeah, a 0 to 10. Yeah, like a 6 probably.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Even though I feel this dread.
Even though I feel this dread.
Just seeing my 13 and 14-year-old self.
Just seeing my 13 and 14-year-old self.
She's standing on the front porch.
She's standing on the front porch.
Doesn't want to go in the house.
She doesn't want to go in the house.
But she has to go in because it's my house.
But she has to go in because it's my house.
Do you feel like she or me? Will we say I have to go in because it's my house?
We could say, we could say I have to go in because it's my house.
Yep, and I feel this in my stomach.
And I feel this in my stomach.
And right here, right now, I'm okay.
And right here, right now, I'm okay.
Is that all right?
Yeah.
Even though I'm feeling dread.
Even though I'm feeling dread.
I can just think of myself at that age.
I could just think of myself at that age.
Standing on the front porch.
Standing on the front porch.
Not wanting to go in the house.
Not wanting to go in the house.
So I have to go in. It's my house. I'm dreading it and I feel it in my stomach.
Dreading it and I feel it in my stomach.
And I accept myself and how I feel.
And I accept myself and how I feel.
Even though I'm just dreading it.
Even though I'm just dreading it.
I don't want to go in the house.
I don't want to go in the house.
But I have to because it's my house.
I have to because it's my house.
And I feel the dread in my stomach.
And I feel the dread in my stomach.
And right here, right now, I'm okay.
And right here, right now, I'm okay.
All right, great job. Top of the head. This dread in my stomach.
Dread in my stomach.
Dread.
Dread.
This dread.
This dread.
This dread in my stomach.
This dread in my stomach.
I don't want to go in the house.
I don't want to go in the house.
I'm dreading it in my stomach.
Dreading it in my stomach.
This dread in my stomach.
This dread in my stomach.
I don't want to go into the house. Just dreading it. Okay. So,
hey, quite intense.
Yeah,
it's good.
Have a little drink.
Yeah.
All right. So what would you say about the dread feeling just now? Still feel like dread?
Feels like dread.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Like a 40, it's still there.
Yep. Still in the stomach?
Still in the stomach. Yeah, it's like stomach, chest. It's all just, on the inside of my body.
And can you tell me a little bit more about what you're dreading? Does it feel okay to just get a little bit more specific?
Yeah, it feels so. It's almost like a hopeless dread, I suppose. Like it's like, I think what I'm dreading is like going into the house. Like I just felt very uncomfortable to be at home.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like going into the house, going to feel uncomfortable, have to kind of brace myself, will feel, not all the time, but it was pretty common. So just feeling uncomfortable. But also I think the hopeless dread is like, yeah, but it's my house. I'm a kid. Like I have to do this.
That's right. Okay. All right, even though I'm still feeling dread.
Even though I'm still feeling dread.
Just seeing myself standing on the front porch, looking at the front door.
Just seeing myself standing on the front porch, looking at the front door.
And it's like a hopeless dread.
And it's like a hopeless dread.
I don't want to go into the house and feel uncomfortable.
I don't want to go into the house and feel uncomfortable.
I feel like I have to brace myself.
I feel like I have to brace myself.
But it's a hopeless dread because I have to go in there. It's my house.
But it's a hopeless dread because I have to go in there. It's my house.
And I feel it in my stomach and my chest.
And I feel it in my stomach and in my chest.
And I accept myself and how I feel.
And I accept myself and how I feel.
Those words, okay? Even though I feel this hopeless dread.
Even though I feel this hopeless dread.
I feel like I'm bracing myself at the front door.
I feel like I'm bracing myself at the front door.
I don't want to go in there and feel all uncomfortable.
I don't want to go in there and feel all uncomfortable.
But I'm a kid. I don't have any choice.
But I'm a kid. I don't have any choice.
It's my house. I have to go in there.
It's my house. I have to go in there.
And I feel this hopeless dread in my stomach and my chest.
I feel this hopeless dread in my stomach and in my chest.
And I accept myself and how I feel.
And I accept myself and how I feel.
Even though I'm feeling this hopeless dread.
Even though I'm feeling this hopeless dread.
Just thinking about myself standing on the front porch.
Thinking about myself standing on the front porch.
Bracing myself.
Bracing myself.
Knowing I'm going to feel uncomfortable in there.
Knowing I'm going to feel uncomfortable in there.
But it's this hopeless dread.
But it's this hopeless dread.
Because I'm a kid and it's my house.
Because I'm a kid and it's my house.
I have to go in there.
I have to go in there.
And I feel this in my stomach and my chest.
And I feel this in my stomach and in my chest.
And I accept myself and how I feel.
And I accept myself and how I feel.
Okay, great job. Top of the head. This hopeless dread.
This hopeless dread.
Hopeless dread.
Hopeless dread.
This hopeless dread in my chest.
Hopeless dread in my chest.
Feel like I'm bracing myself for that uncomfortable feeling.
Feel like I'm bracing myself, that uncomfortable feeling.
I don't want to go in the house.
I don't want to go in the house.
This hopeless dread.
This hopeless dread.
I feel it in my stomach as well.
I feel it in my stomach as well.
I'm just going to do one more round.
Yeah.
I don't want to go in the house.
I don't want to go in the house.
But I'm a kid and I have to.
But I'm a kid and I have to.
This hopeless dread.
This hopeless dread.
Feeling it in my chest.
Feeling it in my chest.
This hopeless dread.
This hopeless dread.
In my stomach.
In my stomach.
Feel like I'm bracing myself.
Feel like I'm bracing myself.
I'm dreading that uncomfortable feeling in the house.
Dreading that uncomfortable feeling in the house.
But it's hopeless dread.
Hopeless dread.
I'm a kid. I have to go in there.
I'm a kid. I have to go in there.
It's my house.
It's my house.
Okay. Oh, you're on the real EFT roller coaster now. Okay. So now think about that younger you standing on the front porch, looking at the door, not wanting to go in. Still feel like hopeless dread?
Yeah, it feels like actually what really came in strong was like my stomach is in knots.
Oh, really? Now?
Yeah, now.
Okay, all right.
And so I don't know if it is hopeless dread, but it probably is. Yeah.
0 to 10 on the stomach in knots feeling.
Yeah, like quite intense, like a 6.
Okay.
Like
Let's
maybe
try
it'll
chase.
pass, but it's
Yeah, let's just forget the event and the emotions, just kind of pop them to the side, zoom in on the stomach and just any words. So even though I feel these knots in my stomach, any other words that come into your mind to describe that feeling?
Yeah, it just feels really big.
Yeah.
Knots in my stomach.
The knots are big?
Yeah, the knots big,
Okay.
the feeling is big.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
It feels sad.
Yeah. We don't talk emotions when we do this one. All right.
It's just feelings.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, like the somatics,
The somatic
the
feelings.
physiological.
Okay.
So big knots.
Big knots.
Stomach.
It feels like it
Basically
could be, just talking about it, it's it's actually starting to go away. But
okay.
it's because it was sort of like big branches, but now it's more like it's actually just dying right down. How funny.
Well, that happens.
Yeah,
That
great.
happens. Okay. All right, good work. So your body's moving through it. That's good. All right. So now I don't think we need to do that technique now. So now just think about yourself standing on the door. Does it still feel like hopeless dread or something else? Sadness, something else?
I think it's a bit more resigned. It's a bit more of a resigned dread.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are
I
your
think
thoughts?
it's funny. Resigned
Okay.
dread.
Yeah.
Because I guess resigned dread is getting closer to acceptance, but it's a bit still, it's like a resigned dread. Like,
Yeah.
oh, well, this is just.
And what's the dread about?
Oh, like going inside.
Because
Going inside and having to put up with just it's kind of like, I think my parents were very stressed people, like they were very stressed.
Yeah.
So like, it's kind of like having to go inside and deal with their stress.
Yeah.
Or whatever, right? Whatever is there, but it's usually some sort of stress.
Yeah.
And then kind of have to hunker down in I don't know, it just felt like I had to kind of protect my energy or not that I was thinking that, but it was like
no, but that's where looking back on it.
That's
what it was like. Yeah, that's
right.
Okay. And would it be like, can you kind of focus on imagining it's more mum or dad or the dynamics between them, or like whose stress kind of affected you most?
It was probably more mum, but like they were very much a team, like they didn't really fight. It was more like, it was almost like me against both of them. Yeah.
So just imagine your mum, like what would she have been doing that let you know that she was very stressed, or what would she be saying, or how would she be behaving?
Like she was constantly in a rush, she was constantly late, she was constantly tired, she was constantly saying she was stressed, like she at the time she quite liked
pretty obvious.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so we'll resign dread 0 to 10 now.
So dread 10. Yeah, about a 4.
Okay, and where are you feeling it in your body, Susie?
In my stomach, yeah.
Okay, all right. Even though I feel this resigned dread.
Even though I feel this resigned dread.
Just thinking about myself standing on the front porch.
Just thinking about myself standing on the front porch.
Knowing that when I go inside. Mum's going to be really tired and rushing around, all stressed.
Mum's going to be really tired and rushing around, all stressed.
And I have to deal with that.
And I have to deal with that.
And I'm feeling it in my stomach.
And I'm feeling it in my stomach.
And I accept myself and how I feel.
And I accept myself and how I feel.
Are those words okay? Even though I feel this resigned dread.
Even though I feel this resigned dread.
Just seeing myself not wanting to go in the house.
Just seeing myself not wanting to go in the house.
Because Mum would be so stressed, they both would.
Because Mum would be so stressed, they both would.
And I feel like I have to deal with that stress.
And I feel like I have to deal with that stress.
I feel like I want to protect my energy and just go into my room.
I feel like I want to protect my energy and just go into my room.
And I feel this in my stomach.
And I feel this in my stomach.
And I accept myself and how I feel.
And I accept myself and how I feel. Okay, the other little bit is it's also because they had a lot of rules. Yeah, so I was stressed and there were a lot of rules.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Even though I feel this resigned dread.
Even though I feel this resigned dread.
Just thinking of myself standing on the front porch.
Just thinking of myself standing on the front porch.
Not wanting to go in the house.
Not wanting to go in the house.
There's so many rules.
There were so many rules.
And my parents were so stressed all the time.
And my parents were so stressed all the time.
And mum will be rushing around all late and tired and stressed.
And mum would be rushing around all late and tired and stressed.
I just don't want to have to deal with their stress.
I just don't want to have to deal with their stress.
I want to go into my room and just protect my energy.
I want to go into my room and just protect my energy.
And I feel it in my stomach.
And I feel it in my stomach.
And I accept myself and how I feel.
And I accept myself and how I feel.
This resigned dread in my stomach.
This resigned dread in my stomach.
This resigned dread.
This resigned dread.
Resigned dread.
Resigned dread.
I just don't want to deal with their stress.
Deal with that stress.
And all the rules.
All the rules.
This resigned dread in my stomach.
Resigned dread in my stomach.
I have to go in there. It's my house and I'm a kid.
It's my house. I'm a kid.
This resigned dread in my stomach.
Resigned dread in my stomach.
Okay, let's just check in. Maybe another little drink if you want one. What are you noticing now?
Yeah, it's good. There's a lot more, like it feels like there's a lot more feeling in my stomach, or it feels like it's a bit clearer or something. Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So then okay, yep. And so what about like the emotion of it, like the resigned dread feeling? How's that going?
I feel like it's at about a 2 or a 3.
Yep.
And it's sort of gotten lower in my stomach.
I mean, it's gone like physically lower, or the intensity is lower, or both?
Yeah, both. Yeah, it has also gotten physically and yeah, intensity lower for sure.
Okay. And
yeah, I'd say it's a 2.
Okay.
It's pretty good, actually.
What are you sort of focusing on? Like, what's your mind thinking when you're kind of looking at that younger you and like, oh, I don't go in there, all the rules, all the stress, they'll be stressed. What's
my mind's just, I just feel a bit sorry for her. That's what my mind's focusing on. Yeah, like, oh, yeah, that was hard.
Yeah. All right. Do you want to do a round on that? Okay. Even though I'm feeling sorry for her.
Even though I'm feeling sorry for her.
It was hard.
It was hard.
And I feel it in my stomach.
And I feel it in my stomach.
But right here, right now, I'm okay.
But right here, right now, I'm okay.
Even though I feel really sorry for her.
Even though I feel really sorry for her.
That was really hard back then.
That was really hard back then.
And I feel this lower in my stomach now.
And I feel this lower in my stomach now.
I accept myself and how I feel.
I accept myself and how I feel.
Even though I just feel sorry for her now.
Even though I just feel sorry for her now.
It was really hard.
Because it was really hard.
Dealing with my parents' stress all the time.
Dealing with my parents' stress all the time.
All those rules.
All those rules.
It was hard.
It was hard.
I feel sorry for her lower in my stomach.
And I feel sorry for her lower in my stomach.
And I accept myself and all my feelings.
And I accept myself and all my feelings.
Okay, top of the head. Oh, I just feel sorry for her now.
Sorry for her now.
I feel sorry for her.
I feel sorry for her.
Feeling sorry for her.
Feeling sorry for her.
Feeling this lower in my stomach.
Feeling this lower in my stomach.
I feel sorry for her.
I feel sorry for her.
That was hard.
That was hard.
And I feel sorry for her.
I feel sorry for her.
Feeling sorry for her in my stomach.
Sorry for her in my stomach.
Okie dokie. Oh, how are you going now? What do you notice now? Oh.
It feels, yeah, that's good. Like, oh, yeah.
I didn't get a number on sorry for her, but does that still feel quite present? The feel like feeling sad, that like feel sorry for how kind of hard that was, that she had to deal with that so often, or
it actually doesn't really feel present right in this second. I wish I could make it present, but it's like,
well, just like
yeah.
really like think of yourself. Well, what is present? Is there something else that feels more present when you think about yourself at that age, standing at that door, just not wanting to go in, dreading going in?
Okay. Yeah, I feel a little bit sorry for her. I also feel a little bit proud of her. Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
So what number would you give the sorry for her? What number would you give that? Like if you really think about what she went through and...
Yeah, like a 2 or 3.
Okay.
A little bit sorry for her. Yeah.
And do you feel it in the stomach still or anywhere else?
A bit in the chest, a little bit in the stomach.
Okay. And just see if you can get a bit more specific about why you feel sorry for her now, like just in your own words.
Just because it was hard. Like, yeah.
As in,
Yeah,
just
it was a lot.
Stress and the rules and...
Oh, I see. Well, there's other, I guess it's like, I feel sorry for her because it was hard. It was parent stress, it was rules. It was like, I think no one really, because we don't have family in Australia, it's not like I don't really have anyone to turn to.
Yeah.
So I think I felt quite alone in that experience. And then my brother was kind of off in his world. So yeah, I think it just felt very lonely. It just felt very like a alone experience. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Even though I still feel sorry for her.
Even though I still feel sorry for her.
Now when I'm thinking about myself standing at the front door there.
Now when I'm thinking about myself standing in front of the front door there.
Just how hard it was.
Just how hard it was.
My parents were so stressed.
My parents were so stressed.
So many rules.
There were so many rules.
And I didn't have anyone to turn to really.
And I didn't have anyone to turn to really.
And I just felt pretty alone.
And I just felt pretty alone.
And I'm feeling this in my chest and my stomach.
And I'm feeling this in my chest and my stomach.
I accept myself and how I feel.
And I accept myself and how I feel.
Those words okay? Even though I still feel sorry for her.
Even though I still feel sorry for her.
I felt pretty alone at that age.
Because I felt pretty alone at that age.
My brother was off in his own world.
My brother was off in his own world.
We didn't have any family in Australia.
We didn't have any family in Australia.
There was no one to turn to.
There was no one to turn to.
And it was pretty hard with all those rules.
It was pretty hard with all those rules.
My parents were so stressed so often.
And my parents were so stressed so often.
And I'm feeling this in my chest and my stomach.
And I'm feeling this in my chest and in my stomach.
And I accept myself and how I feel.
And I accept myself and how I feel.
Even though I still feel a bit sorry for her.
Even though I still feel a bit sorry for her.
Because I felt alone a lot of the time.
Because I felt alone a lot of the time.
There was no one to turn to, no family.
There was no one to turn to, no family.
And I'm just thinking about how hard it was back then.
And I'm thinking about how hard it was back then.
With parents always stressed and so many rules.
Parents always stressed and so many rules.
And I feel sorry for her in my chest and my stomach.
And I feel sorry for her in my chest and in my stomach.
And I accept myself and how I feel.
And I accept myself and how I feel.
Still feeling sorry for her.
Still feeling sorry for her.
I'm sorry for her.
I'm sorry for her.
I'm sorry for her.
I'm sorry for her.
Feeling sorry for her in my chest.
Feeling sorry for her in my chest.
And in my stomach.
And in my stomach.
Feeling sorry for her.
Sorry for her.
Feeling sorry for her.
Feeling sorry for her.
Feeling sorry for her in my chest and my stomach.
Feeling sorry for her in my chest, in my stomach.
Okay, so come back to the side of the hand. And just notice what you notice.
Yeah. Yeah, I just noticed a little feeling in my stomach.
Yep.
I feel like, yeah, I feel like it could be like a whole rabbit hole to keep going.
Okay.
is what it feels like. Yeah.
All right. So that's okay. So what we might do is, if it's kind of, leading to other things, because that's what happens. Would you feel okay to sort of put it in a container, perhaps?
Yeah, totally. Let's do that.
All right. So what kind of container would you like to choose? Anything?
Okay. I think just like a container with like a lid, a clasp. So it just like comes together.
Yeah.
It clasps together.
And what color is the container?
Okay. Orange.
Orange.
Yeah, like bright orange. It's like a bright orange plastic container.
Nice.
Yeah, sort of like a toolbox. Yeah.
Okay. And it's got like a clasp on the lid. Yep. And where would you like to leave it, Susie?
Maybe just like over here.
You want to keep it sort of close by, because you can bury it in the ocean or the desert, or send it to the moon.
Oh, no, I think I'll just put it on the shelf. That's okay. Yeah.
All right. All right. Even though there will be more work to do on this.
Even though there will be more work to do on this.
We've run out of time for today.
We've run out of time for today.
So I'm going to put everything that remains from the session.
So I'm going to put everything that remains from the session
in my bright orange plastic container.
In my bright orange plastic container.
Kind of like a toolbox.
Kind of like a toolbox.
And I can see the lid closing.
And I can see the lid closing.
And I can see the clasps shutting tight.
And I can see the clasps shutting tight.
And I'm just going to put it on the shelf over here.
And I'm just going to put it on the shelf over here.
And I can come back to it another time.
And I can come back to it another time.
So even though there's probably more work to do on this issue.
So even though there's probably more work to do on this issue.
I've done a lot of good work here today.
I've done a lot of good work here today.
But we've run out of time.
But we've run out of time.
I'm just going to pop all this in my bright orange plastic container.
So I'm just going to pop all of this into my bright orange plastic container.
Like a toolbox.
Like a toolbox.
I can see the clasps closing the lid.
I can see the clasps closing the lid.
And I'm just going to put it on the shelf over there.
And I'm just going to put it on the shelf over there.
I can come back to it if I want to.
And I can come back to it if I want to.
All right, that'll do. Top of the head. Putting everything that remains from the session.
Putting everything that remains from the session.
In my bright orange plastic container.
In my bright orange plastic container.
It's a bit like a toolbox.
It's a bit like a toolbox.
A bright orange plastic toolbox.
Orange plastic toolbox.
And I can see the clasps closing the lid tight.
And I can see the clasps closing the lid tight.
And I'm just going to put it on the shelf over there.
And I'm just going to put it on the shelf over there.
And it'll be safe and sound in my bright orange toolbox.
And it'll be safe and sound in my bright orange toolbox.
And I can come back to this another time if I want to.
And I can come back to this another time if I want to.
But I'm okay to leave it there for now.
But I'm okay to leave it there for now.
Okay, let's just check in and see.
Ooh.
How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling like, yeah, that was a big thing. Hey, I was like, oh, okay, good to have linked it actually, because that was so not in my awareness.
Yeah, true.
But it's good. Yeah, I feel pretty good, like a little bit subdued, but also okay. Yeah.
And how's your body feel, Susie?
Yeah, I'd say it feels like a little bit subdued. Yeah, it's the same. Yeah, a little bit subdued.
When you say subdued, what do you mean by that?
Just like a little bit, like there's a little bit of weight on it, like a little bit. Yeah.
Okay. Is it uncomfortable or does it feel like, you know?
It's okay. Like I'm pretty okay with it.
Okay. All right. So, all right. Well, thank you so much for doing that. We might, perhaps what we might do is have another session like in a few weeks or something, if you want to, just to see that work is done. Like I'm a bit curious to see, because that, you know, working on the older memories is pretty powerful. Like it's can really do a bit of a shift.
Yeah, I was surprised by how strong that felt, actually.
Yeah.
And also how similar it felt. So that was like quite interesting. Yeah.
And that's because that's what it is, right? It's like in that stage of your life, like you say, you've got no choice. You can't like not go home. So you go into fight, flight, and you can't fight and you can't flight. So the body just stores that survival stress and it gets trapped like in the stomach, in the chest, and then it just kind of sits there. And then this is EFT is a brilliant somatic modality for helping people process that stuff and helping the body to kind of just release it in a nice, gentle way.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much.
If I was to ask how you're feeling about rest and receive in June, like what do you notice when you think about that as a...
Look, it feels quite distant to me. So it feels just like a distant possibility.
Yeah. All right. Well, I reckon maybe if we check in a few weeks, like maybe in May even.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for participating.
Thanks, Jules.
You've been great. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, it's been great.
See ya.